Hey everyone, welcome back to Slow News Week, where we bring you the best news with the worst jokes. I'm Brian. Everyone knows that the war in Ukraine isn't going well for Russia. I mean, it's not really going well for anybody, it's a war. But specifically, it's not going well for Russia. Things just got a lot worse, because Russia's facing a civil war. Russia employs a mercenary group called the Wagner Group to help them fight their wars. That group's run by this guy, who apparently thought the group wasn't being supported and even allegedly got bombed by the regular Russian army, so he decided to invade Moscow. Wow, a former hot dog vendor turned paramilitary leader with Nazi tattoos turned out to be an untrustworthy individual. Shocking. But perhaps not as shocking as what happened next, where a peace deal was brokered between the two sides, who are, again, very trustworthy sides. I mean, what's a coup between friends, right? We live in such a weird time. I'm really glad I decided to start a lighthearted news show. We don't know how long this truce will last. Everyone seems very confused about it, including me, so let's just move on. To follow up on that missing submarine story, turns out everyone on it is dead. Obviously. Fortunately, mainstream news was able to milk it for all it was worth before having to admit that everyone was dead. One station even had a countdown timer, which was, a nice touch. Thankfully, during this time, there really wasn't any important news to report. I mean, I'm not going to judge. I'm not really reporting any important news either, but I do feel bad for that 19-year-old, though, who died. Apparently, he was terrified to go into the sub, probably because he, looked at it before getting in it. But he felt like he had to go because it was Father's Day. So if you ever feel guilty about canceling on your parents, just remember, this could happen. Probably wouldn't happen to you, but bad things can happen. It also leaked that the US Navy knew that the sub imploded right when it happened because they picked it up on some top secret listening device, but they still assisted with the search anyways. And listen, I hate delivering bad news as much as the next guy, but come on. I think they were dropping hints like, man, I really hope we find them in time. Yeah, would be crushing if we didn't. Here's some more dumb billionaire news. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are going to fight. Yup. This all started when Musk tweeted that he would be down for a cage match with Zuck, and Zuck basically said, drop the address. I feel like ever since we saw this picture of Zuck with too much sunscreen on, he's been on a nerd revenge mission. Like, he's been hunting all the food that he eats. He's been winning jiu-jitsu tournaments. Plus, with the abject failure of the metaverse, he has a lot of pent-up rage. Likewise, ever since we saw this picture of Elon Musk shirtless on a yacht, he's been on Ozempic, allegedly, as well as being perhaps the most divorced man ever on Twitter. In the very short time that the show's existed, I've made fun of billionaires kind of a lot, and that's mostly because they have terrible ideas. But I think this idea is great. I have 0 notes, and this should happen. If you're someone who gets queasy with injuries, maybe skip the rest of this story. Remember, nothing bad ever happens in MMA. It's a totally safe sport. Seriously, please let these idiots fight. People are upset at Marvel, and not just because everything since Endgame has kind of felt like the extra content of a video game that you feel obligated to play because, you already spent $60 on it, but now because of the intro to their new show, Secret Invasion. It's not what you might think. It's not just because this intro looks like shit, though it does. But also it was apparently created by AI. And it's no secret CEOs whose most creative moments come when they're trying to come up with innovative ways to make products worse while costing more, hate artists and want to cut them out in favor of a computer that they don't have to pay. That being said, it's incredibly brazen that Disney, a company that has more money than God, decided to be the first to make a move like this. Intros are so important to establishing the tone of a show. Just think of like The Sopranos or True Detective. Hell, Jeff Probst would probably still be hosting Rock and Roll Jeopardy if the Survivor intro didn't slap so hard. Okay, that's enough. We don't want to get a copyright strike. Listen, if we let Hollywood take an inch, they're going to take a mile. And the next thing you know, the show will be hosted by text-to-speech over footage of someone doing parkour in Minecraft. Actually, that might do better than this has so far. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you liked it, please subscribe, show it to your friends, everyone like that. We're on all social media. Search Slow News Week. And we'll see you in the next one.